Welcome to your corporate girly mum of two evening skincare routine. Hi, my name's Nicole. If you're new here, I post family, lifestyle and travel content, and today we are getting into one of my favourite hobbies, which is skincare. It's one of the few hobbies that I can do with my chronic pain condition, but I also find it really fun. I love testing out new skincare products, and from someone who has had a lot of skincare issues over the years, I find it something that's very therapeutic, and I want to share with you what I've been doing. So let's start out with what are some of my problem areas that I have. Now, I have rosacea, which you will see quite a bit of redness once I start removing my makeup. I've had rosacea for the last 3 to 4 years, and that stemmed from some medication that I was put on because of my condition, and I started to get psoriasis around my scalp. And yeah, so we're trying to manage the rosacea. It's particularly bad on this side. I can always already see the red coming through because of my makeup wearing off from the day. I also have acne scarring, and I do still tend to have the odd breakout here and there because I've had acne from being a teenager. And then obviously I'm an aging lady, so we're trying to manage the aging process as best as we can. So let me share with you the products that I have been currently obsessed with. There is a few different brands here. I tend to get like really immersed into a brand and want to try every single product out until I find ones that I really truly love, and then I may mix and match some different brands at different times depending on what my skin needs, and that is really the key in knowing which ingredients you need to be using at what times. So I'm going to start out with an OG classic Clinique. This is the Take the Day Off makeup remover for lids, lashes and lips, and I find that I need to use this for the mascara that I use. I will be getting my lashes done again, but I've not had them done for a while, and I do find that if I don't use a makeup remover, I can never just get that mascara residue off my eye, and it ends up just getting all caked on there and doesn't come off, and then your makeup doesn't sit very well the next day. So I will just give that a rub all over my lashes to make sure that all of the mascara residue has come off. And then what I like to do, once I've done the mascara so there's no waste, just to wipe it across the rest of the makeup. As you can see, I have quite a bad patch of rosacea, and I have had a little breakout, which that breakout has actually gone down. That is just a mark from the breakout. It was quite a bad one, but you can really see the rosacea coming through there. It is a wonder what makeup can cover up, isn't it? And this is why I don't go out wearing no makeup, because people have been like, oh, have you hurt your face? Because it does look like I've been slapped in the face. So that is what we do. I just get a fresh pad and do the other side. So once all of the mascara residue is gone and the full redness of my face is revealed, we are going to move on to cleansing. So even though I have removed most of the makeup off with the makeup remover, I probably should get a separate makeup remover, but I just think it's already on there, just wipe it all off. It is so lazy of me, but I am now going to do a proper cleanse with a cleanser. Some people like to double cleanse. I tend to just do the makeup remover, or I'll use a micellar water to then go over it as well before I use a cleanser. And I am currently using a Medicube cleanser, and you'll see a bit of a trend in this video, and no, none of it is sponsored. I just get very immersed in a product once I find something I like. But I'm using the Medicube Zero Pore SA Clear Capsule Cleansing Foam. It has 0.45% salicylic acid, which if you have breakouts, salicylic acid is a good ingredient to have to help with breakouts. And it's deep cleansing to unclog pores, and it has AHA and PHA, and it's gentle and exfoliating. So all you do is just wet your face a little bit with this and lather it on, and then obviously wipe off any residue left over and make sure that your face is completely wiped clean. So I'm just going to go and head in the bathroom to do this next step, and I will be right back. Just want to share with you what I use to wipe off the cleanser. I absolutely love these. So these are compressed towels. They're completely biodegradable, so it says on the ad, and they basically they look like little tablets, and when you wet them they turn into a full cloth. So I just use that until my face is definitely coming off clean, and you can rinse them through and just keep reusing them at that point. and then once you're done, just throw them away and they should be biodegradable. But I absolutely love these, and they've really helped at like keeping my skin as clear as possible. Believe it or not, this is my skin on a good day. Now that we are all cleansed, I am going to take the Medicube toner, which I have got. This is the PDRN Pink Cica, it's CICA Soothing Toner. Obviously, the more I rub on the redness, it does inflame it a little bit more, but doing this skincare does soothe it down. So now that my face is all cleansed and toned, I am actually going to use my Shark mask. So I have this Shark, is it the Cryo mask? I'm not too sure the name of it. You've probably seen it around, but it's like a red light therapy mask. And it has a couple of different settings. So it has a setting for anti-aging, a setting for skin repair, and then a setting for just the cool eyes. Now I like to use the anti-aging in the morning because it's a shorter setting, but in the evening I do the skin repair setting. So I'm just going to take this headband off. So you just measure that. This is scary once you get that on. Heaven knows what my neighbours think of me when I go and let the dog out in the morning. You go to routines, and I'm going to go to blemish repair, which is an 8-minute setting, so it's not long at all, and we are going to just start that. And off we go for 8 minutes. So the next step that I'm using is this hydrolyzed collagen, and this again is a Medicube one. You can barely see what's written on there. All the Medicube products are from Amazon, so you can find them all linked below, or you can find them on my Amazon storefront for easy purchasing. I'm just going to put this on, and this really soothes because my face has gone really hot now because I have been messing with it quite a bit. And I think that's the problem sometimes when you're watching these people on the internet doing skincare routines. The skin looks absolutely flawless, and it's probably edited out to show that it looks really, really good. And I'm being very, very honest with you. No, my skin isn't perfect. And yes, you can still see the flaws that I have. But this is very managed and maintained from what it actually was previously, and it has improved a heck of a lot. So if you are finding that you're having issues such as the acne, such as the rosacea, and you're trying to manage the aging process, this is what I'm doing to do that. And you can quite clearly see that I have some skin issues. So what I'm going to do is just let that sit a minute till it feels like it's soaked in. And then the next step I'm going to do is this next Medicube product, which is the azelaic acid Exosome Shot 2000. I have two of these shots. So I have the azelaic acid one, and then I have the PDRN Pink Collagen one. Now this one says to use every few days. So I did that last night. So I'm not going to use that one tonight, but it's very much like a sensation of micro needling on your face. It's a little bit stingy. It feels like you're sticking little pins in everywhere. It's very odd actually to feel, but because I have rosacea, azelaic acid is a really good formula to use for rosacea. One of my other favorite products that I use, and I use this in the morning when I'm getting ready, is the Ordinary azelaic acid suspension 10%. 10% is a really good amount in there for over the counter. Most of the time, anything above that you need to get prescribed. So the Ordinary I would definitely recommend. And like I say, I use that before I put my makeup on in the morning. So it isn't just Medicube products that I do use other stuff. If you look in my skincare drawer, it's basically Medicube, The Ordinary, Bioma, and the Inky List at the moment. Those are the products that I'm sticking with, and then the odd thing from a different brand. But we are just going to apply, I usually use 2 pumps of this, and then just dab that around, and it just does the little stingy sting thing. We're going to just let that sink in. That takes a minute or two to absorb, more so than the other one. Make sure you get your neck. Now that I'm describing my skincare regime, it feels like an awfully lot of steps, but it honestly doesn't feel that much usually when I'm doing it each night. It's just become quite a habit. Now the next step I'm using is this Medicube PDRN Pink Peptide Serum. So I'm using that after the azelaic acid, but what you can also do is use it in conjunction with the pore pads. So sometimes instead of the toner, I will use the pore pads, which are to help minimize pores. This is running slightly low, so I may have to ditch the thing. Ooh. That feels really nice on the skin. And once that has all settled down and isn't as tacky on my skin, I'm going to do the final step of the full face, which is the collagen jelly cream. Now this feels incredible. I would say it's for your anti-aging. My skin has never felt so, it's like I've had a facelift, honestly. I woke up the first day after using this and I was like this. I was like, oh my god, I can't move my skin. It's incredible. So it's like a jelly texture, and I'm just gonna put that all over, and then also move the hair out of the way on my neck as well. So some evenings I do change up the skincare routine and I might do something a little bit longer. So I may use a gua sha, which I would then push upwards for lymphatic drainage, which is also really good. Or I might use like a different product in there. I find if I use the same product over and over again, my skin starts to react, which is very, very strange. Most people like to have consistent skincare with the same thing, but I have to change mine up every now and then. But this is what I've been using as like my basic skincare regime every single night. And I've just been loving it. My skin has been waking up feeling really, really lovely, apart from this really random breakout that I had the other day. But I think that's because I've had a lot of stress going on the last few, I'd probably say the last few months, but it all kind of came to a bit of a head last week and I was extremely stressed, and that's when the breakout happened. But other products that I really love to use on my skin are the ordinary salicylic acid. Now this is a 2% salicylic acid, so whereas the cleanser, I think, was that like a 0.45 or something, this is 0.2. So again, if you're having a breakout, if you've got like pimple prone skin, this is really good for that. Obviously not to use it every single day because it can wear away at the layers, but it is something that can help with breakouts. And I broke out literally all up here. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? I'm going on holiday at the weekend and I was just like broken out all over my skin. And I did this skincare routine and I used this and it cleared it up straight away, apart from this one that won't go away. It's like a scar now. So that's fun. So we're just going to have to work on some scar tissue damage. And I've already shared with you the azelaic acid that I love to use from The Ordinary. I do have a lot more Ordinary products, but I have like a hyaluronic acid. And then there's a couple of ones that I need to top up. So I've got this Matrixyl 10%. And I also have Argiline Solution 10% and the Matrixyl 10%. This was trending on TikTok as a really good duo to use for anti-aging. But I need to top that up now. I've got a little bit left in the bottom. And I've kept the bottles just so I remember what the names of them are, because they have like proper scientific-y sounding names, which I would never remember. But yeah, so that is mainly the skincare that I have been using for the evening time. I have some different products that I use for the daytime, just the odd few things. But then there's the final couple of steps that I now do in my evening routine is eye cream. So I've got the Medicube PDRN Pink Peptide Eye Cream, which is for reviving under the eye area, and it also has niacinamide 5% for thermal looking skin, so that helps with plumping out the skin. And I have found that this has been really helpful. But keeping the under eyes hydrated is really helpful for that anti-aging. I struggle with sleep. I have really bad insomnia, so I do get quite dark circles. So making sure I use a good eye cream is always the one, to give them like a little massage under there. They are looking a lot lighter. They have been since I've been using these products. And then for helping with lash growth, this is just from Aldi. It's a Lacura one. I've not invested in a more expensive one, but this is just to go along the top line of the lashes. There is a brand that someone recommended me and I couldn't for the life of me remember it. So I want to go and buy it and test it before I share it with you. But this, I'll be honest, I don't know how well this is working or not. I've only just started using it because I forgot that I had it. So we're going to just keep going with that one. And then because I do struggle with sleep and struggle with insomnia, the last thing I'm using is this CBD Temple Balm, which is from Lush. And this is just to help me sort of relax. I have, like I've mentioned, a lot of chronic pain. I struggle to sleep. I struggle with like anxiety and what have you. So anything to help. So I will just rub this on my temples. And sometimes I will take this with me in my bag to use. So I have a pain condition in my wrist here. So sometimes I'll just use it to lightly apply some of this onto the wrist. There is like a bigger one that you can buy, which I do have in the drawer, which I'll use like on my back or what have you. But if I'm honest, it's supposed to be for pain relief. It doesn't really help with pain relief, but it does feel like it gives maybe like a calming effect on the temples. Once I've done all my skincare, I've brushed my teeth, I've cleaned my retainer for my Invisalign, I'm then ready for bed. I can go and relax, and I'm gonna then use this sleep spray, anything to help me sleep because I have such bad insomnia. So I give myself a little spritz on the pajamas because I just love the smell of this. This is essential oils of geranium and lavender, and it's a Cloud9 pillow mist. I got this in like a beauty box. M&S do beauty boxes every now and then, and they did like a summer box, an evening one and a daytime one, so I bought those and it was in there. And then I like to give my pillow a spray mist over because the smells are quite calming, and anything I can do to try and have a nice calming atmosphere to wind down. And then I will take my magnesium for bed. Magnesium that I'm using is the Wild Nutrition magnesium, and I keep it up here because if I leave it downstairs I will forget to take it. So I'll take that now, and then what I like to do is then read in bed. That is me done for my evening wind down routine. I make sure I do this every night. It is a little bit of me. It is me filling my cup up because I have a lot going on in the day. I have a very busy corporate job, and then I am looking after the children in the house and dealing with a chronic pain condition. So I need to do things that make me feel good. And doing this nice skincare routine is giving me a good evening routine to set me up to help with my insomnia, but also it's making me feel good about myself, and I've never felt as good about my skin as I have recently. All the products that I've used will be linked below. And now that I am done my sleep spray, I've taken my magnesium, I'm all ready for bed. I'm going to go and sit in bed and finish reading The Bullet That Missed. This is my 36th book of the year. As you know, I am doing my reading challenge and I'm aiming to get to 40 books by the end of August. I was lagging behind in July. So let's see if I can get there when I am on holiday. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.